of the rounds played on Trophy Statue are won by the defense. So a little bit of background knowledge here for the people, meaning that it is pretty much a 50-50 nowadays. A 3-3 split, not too uncommon.
And meta, current way of getting things every, obviously it was always cited as it was a very heavy meta. Last time it was shields and ADSs and final 15 seconds of gunfights. Now it's not. Now it is a very different story. It's very aggressive. It can be very hyper when it needs to be. And even on maps like Villa, which were so structurally sound, so structurally solid for the defenders before, it's a little bit freewheeling now. Thatcher, first off the board. That is pretty familiar though.
Pretty usual, especially if you're playing a map which requires a bit of heart breaching to be done. And the only map where you would consistently not see a Thatcher ban would be a coastline due to the fact that heart breach not really that super important there. Yana also getting removed. It's going to be a big one actually. Losing the Gun 6, 2 grenades, the Gemini replicators, which can be used to take out the Syria laser gates. So it might actually indicate that VP wants to play on the back of those.
My Gun 2, yeah, I'd have to go back through and pull up all the figures. We haven't seen too many Yana bans. If any is my thought there, is obviously she's definitely grown in presence and kind of where she's been able to get in onto the map itself for a lot of teams based on how hefty she can remove utility. As you said, arena gates, but obviously 2 grenades and a Gun 6. That's pretty good. Tied in, indeed. Yeah, with her ability as well, a refreshing way to just get intel and get through things. She's been a good pocket pick for a lot of players and a lot of teams. This might, from my knowledge, is the first time we've seen her banned in the UL.
It is, yes. I just checked as well, and it is indeed the first time we've seen it banned. Whilst we are still on a 63% ban rate for Thatcher, so he's not really getting any love here. Unfortunately. It's logical. You'll see tomorrow why. That's all I'm going to say.
Whoa.
Teasing. Spoiler alert.
Tune in tomorrow. But for now, tune into this. The 6th pick there, the Clash to the Mirror. Obviously, 2 very different playstyles. The Mirror is going to allow them to set that pressure from range. Obviously, with Thatcher off the board, it severely limits in terms of keeping a lockdown on the walls. But to be fair, in the case of AVG, what you'll see is, WTG in the hands of that Buck. Getting in underneath, you can also obviously bring well-cooked and played frag grenades or the range charges from either Milan or Rask. What I'm saying is they're going to put pressure on from underneath those mirror windows. They're going to make them very uncomfortable to play, and then it's going to be the start. That, though, the ankle hold towards strategy table and the vault door, well, that's a prep for an expected take.
It is indeed, and some people might be wondering now, why is the mirror window on the soft wall next to the reinforcement and not on the reinforcement itself? But I think that has to do with the fact that, well, if they plan behind the vault door, there's nothing you can do anyway. So it has to do with the study entrance. So they might be relying onto losing study, I would say, willing to give that away to the attackers if they're willing to take it. But if you're looking at it like this, VP currently having none of that. It's literally every single member will be towards the master bedroom side of the map, and this will be taking control as is. A very quick entry here from Milan into Memorial. Sitting down in one roamer that is strolling about on the first floor.
Yeah, as I said, they're going to get kind of hard and aggressive here against Prano, who has a whole mess of space to play around. And Villa is a very big map. There's a lot of stretch that you can put in. And, well, on the lesser seen wine floor, he's going to slow crouch his way around to make sure he doesn't get caught by anyone going for a pretty heady and pacey clear for the potential of finding their way through. It's a waiting game, it's a droning game, and it's a setting yourself up game. A lot of teams, they'll sort of trust that it gets a sense of clarity via the drones and not really go into face check it. So you never know, you might be able to catch someone there, but gone for the slow rotation all the way from the bottom of Astro up to the bottom of Red. Milan is probably going to be the first point of contact here. Sets himself up a pre-placed drone and starts towards Art.
Sets himself up that flying drone because they do need to deal with those mirror windows, and rather sooner than later, because they will become a true problem if you're trying to go for the execute, and there's just a line of sight you cannot deal with unless you're using, for example, the S-Charge due to the fact it's on a soft wall, or a Selma if it is onto the hard wall. I believe, I'm not sure if it's in the TTS, but I believe that the Selma will soon be taking care of mirror windows if they get deployed on it. Either way, it is a wasted C4 opportunity there, but VP slowly but steadily taking control of the northern side of the map, sorry.
Dug in there on the split end of 90, looking down long to see if anybody is playing that fight. It is a bit of pop pressure here across red and landing as they start their clear towards this side with Hive playing back inside study. There's someone on the close window, so we can't go for too big of a rotate. He'll spray from the depths and make sure he's prepared for anyone that gets a little bit too cautious, but it's angles and holding them is the MO right now. They double back round and get themselves back into sight there from the study door. Either side is pressured here as Hive suffers the first grenade. He has a lot of potential here for damage. He also has that soft hatch next to him, the ability to punch through it, but he chooses... Unfortunate time, Milan swings round, finally finds the first, but with only 20 seconds and a smoke canister popping, they've got to be able to apply some pressure underneath this. WTG goes deep, gets dropped. Gomfy on the long corridor finds a very important trade as that sets up all the pressure from the opposite side. They're unaware. The C4 goes all the way to the back of the strategy table, but it doesn't quite get there. Shot out, I believe, in midair, and there's a post plant. Slabin tries to dig his way through from the balcony on the opposite side. Prano backs in around the other side to see if he can get behind these mirror windows. They know that they're out there, but it's the cross angle that takes a lot longer here for Draven to try and swing round. Dropped. And it's a 2 versus 2, one either side. Milan deep, Pasha on the split, waiting for the sounds on the strategy table to go for his swing round. Slips past the body on stud, and he gets an amazing drop, but Pasha swings round the red door in the same time. 15 seconds, you gotta win this. He's low! And he went high. Virtus.pro find their first.
Just not able to find him there in the C4. As you said, taking care before he could explode. But I believe he got stuck on the vault door. Probably were thinking it would be landing, or the plants would be behind the vault door. Wasn't the case, of course. Wouldn't have blown up the teammate either way. But nonetheless, VP able to take that first win. And you can see how important the kill was on the player inside study, because it allows you to actually just move in and don't have to worry about anybody peeking in from that side of the map. VP cleaning up and find themselves with that first round. Ace is keeping tweets, actually. He's keeping record of how much VP need to do if they want to be able to enter the top 4. Suddenly, or currently, everything is so far still going according to plan.
Everything's coming up Virtus.pro. But we're 1 round in, so it's a little bit early.
It's true. It's true.
Out of all the plans, out of all the plays and statistics for what things need to fall into place, and the great jigsaw of Virtus.pro making it to the top 4, the most important is being able to pull their win here.
Yes.
This is the reliance on them. If the other things slip out of their hands, it happens. That's the fate of Siege, and that's the fate of how the season's played out for them. They can still put in a good fight. If this slips through their hand, that will always hit them the most, because this is the one that they have full control over.
Because I was gonna say, like, you know, like, yes, it's early, but like the other results that we've had so far are going to plan. If Vitality would have won, that would have been VP's dream already over. So, you know, that means there is a lot to play for. There's a lot of pressure coming down on VP. They themselves, they also know it's going to be very unlikely that they make it, but as long as there's an opportunity of making, even if it's just 1%, you will want to go for it. You will want to give everything you can to make sure that you find yourself in that situation. And, well, a good start on the attack on a 50-50 map nowadays is going to be helpful, as they do need 6 points over the next 2 days. And, well, you better start now. There's no holding back.
This is a very different plan B in terms of operator selection from the defenders. Obviously, Aruni's gone, Mira's gone. They've picked up Maestro and Goyo in the pocket instead. They still have the potential of getting those smokes over from the side of Draven too. If they are expecting another strategy take, that's it. They've also in the same breath set up their site for the same idea, that they're going to go for a default take. They're going to hit lobby door or the strategy table, and this gives them the option to be a little bit more aggressive on the swing out, potentially on the sides, keep themselves, I guess, locked down with more security towards 90 and towards that side, and put Virtus.pro a little bit more on the back foot of they're not 100% sure where things are going on, and, well, they're at least a little bit sure that someone's playing around underneath.
I'm trying to get that pressure in Milan, hoping to maybe take care of an evil eye or find himself a vertical angle. There's no more mirror windows to actually try and take out, and as he does find a lot of pre-placed openings, Hive is aware as well, but the foot is going to stick out, and Milan is going to try and do his best to make sure he can secure that kill. As Heist turns up, he gets taken down. It's an entry yet again for VP here.
Well, revealed by the toes, oh no. And it was something where we talked about the hatch in the same position they were in before. They had the possibility to punch it out and go for a rotate. They were caught out by Milan yet again, same place. The big difference here is they have a lot more time on the clock, of double this time round, and they've been able to, I guess, stop Milan in response. But with the early body going against them, it's how much more work they can do here. Sleben suffers a grenade over the top of the wall, suffers the second, but still standing. They couldn't confirm the kill, and now they're going to try and burn their way through. See if they can make that gun vault a little bit more uncomfortable. No, actually, they've opted instead. They need to do more work. They have 40 seconds, and they have a lot of sight left to clear. The first canister pops off on the entrance of the red door, with Kajaka holding up on the big opposite firefight. They've set themselves the drone to make sure they know if somebody tries to rotate, but Prano is holding it. Has no reason or presence to go for it. Pasha, though, no entry as of yet. Second canister popped and gone.
And they do indeed have to make it a little bit of an opening there in Gunfalder's. Pasha now going for the plant. The smoke canister will not be hitting him. Slab able to pick up one kill, but the plant will go down. And that brings in a 45-second after-plant situation with one man still on top of the brown stairs. Will be taken down by Pasha. That is going to be giving us the opportunity to see VP in a 3v2 after-plant and see whether or not Secret is going to be able to get the retake done.
Long angles, long firefights, and no winners as of yet. But the slow creep and crawl around the back is going to get cut by Rask, potentially. Ooh, only just escapes there, but Kajeka in the meantime drops Gomfi. Draven is able to find one. 16 seconds and two more bodies. Knows that one is out deep. The other, well, he's much closer, and it's 2 rounds in a row for Virtus.pro.
They have it. Able to get back-to-back wins here in AVGs, which is a... let me check. Yeah, it's currently the worst site for the defenders to go to. So let's see whether or not it is going to be changing. Is it going to be going to Trophy Stat? Yeah, we are going to Trophy Stat. It's a good call, in my opinion. I mean, maybe they don't find themselves really comfortable on the site, which is why they didn't choose it the second time around. Or they were like, if we change the lineup, we should be having more success against this play style. But you know, it didn't really work out in the end.
That was it. They went for a different lineup and a similar-ish hold in that they're holding against that red take. They're holding against the possibility there. They obviously stacked the body up in the same way, pretty much. They had the one loose in study. They had someone on the top of the brick main brown stairs. However, your team likes to call it. And I think that situation was, you know, let's adapt. We've got a plan B. Let's get some momentum back in our favor. We need a win on something that's been a loss. Not just on a round, but on a location as well. It's a risk. It's a gamble. It's double or nothing. And unfortunately, they leave with nothing. So, somewhere else, pick up sticks, head somewhere else. Look at that battle of the tweets. The hashtags have been raining in. If you're unaware, we're doing a little special thing. Special because it's the first time we're doing it. It's very cool. There's a big game going on today. BDS versus Kuwana, two of the big teams at the top. Obviously now currently second and third based on Navi's positioning, heading up into the first spot. So if you're a BDS fan, hashtag BDS Power on Twitter. If you're a Kuwana fan, hashtag Guana on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, get involved.
Whoever wins that battle gets the All Big Rasho trophy to boast about on Twitter. Yes, actually.
The digital trophy.
It's just a PNG. But yeah, it is.
Now, a steady approach on a different site. Yet again, we're seeing a big rotation in operators. Obviously, it's a different play and place. Sleben bringing the Melusis to try and slow the approach. And Hive on the Echo as well. 2 plants in a row. It's not the worst idea there is to think, okay, well, they're playing pretty heavy on the diffuser. They're trying to throw themselves in. We saw it there. They moved Mad Dash underneath the smokes. Both times, Virtus.pro have gone for the plant in the final about 15 seconds. Having that Echo drone there might be something that even just a little tad of pulling it away, because they still, both times, had at least 3 bodies standing on both plants. It's not the most out there possibility here for that Echo to have a really big impact.
Of course not. The one thing I'm worried about, though, is that we've seen the utility that was being tossed to try and take out the diffuser wasn't really that effective. And of course, as soon as VP is aware of the fact that there is going to be a yokai, they need to make sure it's very well hidden if they want to make sure, and actually need to make sure that they also succeed in tricking the wall with the... Did he just gave up? Okay, he just gave up doing it. They're not going to do it anymore. They're going to go for a different approach. It's taking too long. It's becoming too risky, and that means that the wall will stay, I was going to say close, but then Selma of Kozheka will be taking care of it. So at least it will still have that breach. Just Sleben is a big problem right here on the Astro stairs.
Yeah, they're able to get out the mute jammers, so it's a half success, but obviously you can see he was going for the full burn. Fortunately, didn't work. Now, though, let's see if they can make this work. They are burning all those ADSs. They're hoping to catch that man on those stairs, but Sleven's actually pulled himself further away. It's Rask that finds Draven. The first body dropped. We just passed the minute mark, and they still haven't been able to get the man out of Astro stairs. He pulled away at the perfect time, but Pasha pushed back. Hythe gets the trade and stops the flow. The Echo buried deep, concerned about the open breach, with Pirano going up to take the mantle of the Astro stairs hold. Hythe suffers over the shoulder, but it's Milon that finds the opener there onto Gomfy, leaves them in a 4 versus 2 with only 40 seconds left. They're a little bit separated and isolated, and as the canisters go off, Hythe does too, gets dropped in the trade, and that puts them in a very tricky situation here, in a post-plant situation yet again. The quickest they've been able to get the diffuser down, and well, it's a very awkward situation here, because the first time Pirano is pretty much by himself. Rask locks off one, Pirano gets revenge, but Milon on the door. That's 3 in a row for Virtus.pro.
Oh, we talked about a 50-50 earlier. So far, not really 50-50. The attack really showing a huge right here of VP all over Team Secret, not giving them a single opportunity of getting into this game. And if you're looking at it like that, that is very painful for Secret here. They lost AVG twice. They now lost trophy stat tree as well, so it's only logical that they're calling in a tactical timeout. They need to salvage something of this half, because I don't think they have the faith in themselves that they're going to be able to win 6 consecutive attacks if, you know, they would end up with 0 rounds.
Yeah, this is one of those things where obviously we have quite a few games that are the separators of the table. Okay, it's the second to last playday. It's weird that they're happening now, but the playdays and the way the table's formed itself is still very, very close. So it's a lot of second versus third, or in this case, more 7th versus 8th, 9th, regardless of where they're sitting at the minute. It's within a point of each other, and this is the difference maker, this game. And Virtus.pro, they've come in to make sure that they're making that difference. They're a team that, if you look at the results history throughout the season from them versus Secret, it's been much closer, and it's been a lot of choked moments, I think it's fair to say, for VP.
Yeah.
Whereas Secret, it was a bit of a downhill. They opened obviously with the win against G2, and then it was, you know, 4 rounds and 3 rounds and 2 rounds and 1 round. And then they put some pressure back on. They obviously had a bit of a team talk 5-7 versus Kavana loss to their first win since the opener last week. Here, though, it's looking a little bit like that downward slope against Virtus.pro.
Just looking at the statistics of VP, 6-8 loss against Kavana. Prior to that, a 7-3 win, but against Trainhardt, but we're taking it out of the equation for now to make the point. 8-7 loss against Vitality. 6-8 loss. No, wait. Did I read that right? No, 7-8 loss against Na'Vi prior to that. And then a 7-2 loss against Rogue earlier. So 3 out of the 4 last losses they've had were really close, and actually were brought to overtime. So that is why Virtus.pro is currently finding themselves at a lower part of the table, but it's also still the reason why they're able to at least contest for a potential top 4 spot if everything goes their way. And, well, picking up the 3 rounds now shows that they are in absolute top form right now and are here to, well, tell Team Secret, you're staying down in 9th place. You're not moving up today. We are going to be walking away with this and actually gaining some positions on Vitality, who dropped their matchup today, of course. Is VP looking to currently end up in 6th place if they continue as they are.
Heading down to the ground floor for the first time, we'll see if Secret can make something a little bit more storied here. It's otherwise been tough to control the guns of Virtus.pro. They've been aggressive, and they've been pushing. Oh, goodbye. Rask dropped at the top of red from Gomfy, and this is the momentum that we started to need to see from them. They weren't really pushing back against the early approach of Virtus.pro, and I think a team like VP, when they start to get momentum, they'll build behind it. Secret are good at gunning, good at getting in these awkward, uncomfortable situations. It's just having the confidence to play against a good gun team that seem to shake them, but plenty of time for them to try and pull themselves back to an even split here as we start to see Virtus.pro steady themselves towards the kitchen side.
That's it, right? We've seen VP be really good on their executes, just able to shut down the angles that they need. That is a beautiful C4 coming down from Sleben. Wonder what it was guided by. Did they have information? Was the default chem still up, or was it just a lucky blow up? Because the pulse right here was no way that it was going to be able to get the scan down in that 90 short hallway.
Yeah, it was perfectly timed. I mean, he was mid full sprint. It was just underneath him. It wasn't even a down. It wasn't a scrape. It was a full goodbye. And well, there's one more. Draven finds WTG. They are responding in their own way, and they've been able to entirely scarper the Virtus.pro push here, leaving it just down to Pasha and Karjeka. No more frag grenades in the pockets of the Maverick, so he's going to have to try and get a little bit more aggro as Karjeka puts pressure onto the door itself. It's 2 stories they're trying to hold on to right now, and well, Karjeka's going to make sure he has a little bit more space to play with, but it's more space for them to push back on drop down. Swings around, potentially going to put the pressure over those back stairs there as he goes for a much bigger rotate, and Karjeka is left waiting and hoping nobody swings against him for now.
Just trying to get some information out, tossing out some of the smoke. Ennis is here to guide and, well, hide his path if he's trying to get the plant in. Hive is aware another C4 coming in. It's not going to be able to pick up that kill. Pasha, in the meantime, though, will be able to pick up one. The down comes in onto Draven. That is going to be a potential actual turnaround right here with 20 seconds left. We're finding ourselves in a 1v2 situation. Only Karjeka is left standing. Has the diffuser in hand, but needs to find the kills right here. Picks up one. No, he picks up none. Gumpy able to shut it down in secret. They almost let it slip in that round, but they do manage to take it as the minefield tactics seem to be working out for them. A lot of C4 kills, a lot of C4 pressure coming down. Really coming in clutch right here for secret as they pick up their first.
That was a very good rotate there. Put themselves in a much different position there for the possibility of, okay, well, you know, we're stuck in here. We still need to try and put the pressure, so let's double down. Pasha, I mean, he's a player who shows up consistently when you need him to, especially as we find ourselves further on in the season so far and doing a lot of heavy lifting. And, you know, that's a situation there where he's able to get in, get to. Got caught punching the Banshee on the bar bench, but still, good almost response there from Virtus.pro. 3-1 secret, though. If I'm going to talk about momentum and I'm going to talk about your team talk and how you needed to step it up and getting a control on that to stop Virtus.pro being as comfortable as they were, this is the round to demonstrate that. You've been able to take one, but this is where you've already lost twice. This is the one where it needs to start marking your turnaround.
Tactical timeout magic. Sometimes what we call it. It's the moment sometimes these games just fleeing around, and let's look at that shot again. A Gomfy able to take it ahead clean of Rask. Basically the one gunfight that happened before we entered the 5v2 situation. The only one. Until we entered the 5v2. But there hasn't been much shooting. It was just a lot of explosions going on, picking people up.
Well-timed, well-placed explosives.
Yeah.
Really kind of came through there. We've gone back to a closer setup of their very first hold here, and we're seeing a lot of operator juggling in terms of changing things up from secret. Obviously now we're seeing that Echo I talked about on the third round. He's back to potentially try and play against those plants. As I said, they had a habit of sticking them quite late, so he could be a difference maker. They're back with the mirror hold as well. Smoke is gone this time round. They're not going for the range smoke hold. Maestro's gone. It's so many different strategies and plays and plans, and finding the one that sticks, I suppose, is their method here. But having all of those potential plays in your wheelhouse, it's one of those things, is does it make you a stronger team, or does the kind of flexibility and lack of reliability on a setup make you a weaker team in these situations?
Well, I think they're trying to adapt to whatever VP is doing on their attacks, right? You saw the mirror coming in and then being brought out, like just swapped out, of course. Oh, that's a C4 again. Not the kill this time. WTG just stepping back in time. But I was going to say, I didn't think the mirror is a problem here. I think the mirror is actually a very good addition to this site. It's very easy to get control, to at least see where they're coming from. So I'm happy they brought it back. This time in combination with the Echo, which could be really helpful, of course, because if the mirror then cannot see it, they always have the Echo drone. Is now a C4 kill will come in again from below at the moment he runs over. I wonder how they do it every single time.
I mean, there's got to be a tell. There's got to be a giveaway, and they're using it very, very well. Or it's, you know, woke up on the lucky side of the bed this morning. This is the first time we've seen the fight happen on this site, and Milan has not been in the opening engagement and able to get that opening kill, so it sets them up in a slightly different environment. Rask, they've obviously lost the Ashe, they've lost that ability to put some pressure on the ranged targets here. Gomfi's still beneath too, making sure that they don't get in under and cause some pressure on those mirror windows, holding off and holding to the potential to swing round. Milon drops Draven from deep all the way across from that window, still waiting and baiting, and at some point Gomfi is going to have to rotate his way back up. Doesn't have the C4 to get aggro underneath. 40 seconds and Sleben is dancing between two mirror windows, but the danger is starting to mount.
It is indeed. The smoke canister will be at least making sure they could go for a plant right here, and as they have the first cover, only the Echo Drone can stop them now, and that is what they're trying to do, but they're failing to do it, Fluke.
Oh, the Echo Drone doesn't hit twice. Two misconnections there as they dug in behind the vault door, and that's a big blow. Sleben is able to find a body back, but it's really put the screws in on this hold. There is WTG and Milon for one apiece. Hive from range for a second, but he isn't short where the last one is. It's Pasha all the way outside the trophy side, and Saiti slowly makes his approach, and well, he's going to stick at bait and see if he can play around that audio. Pasha has to get in, get close. There's Hive, and there is a last second swing around. He's waiting and baiting, and it's 9 seconds. He's got to go for it, and he does. Pasha finds it for Virtus.pro.
There you have it. Echo Drone missing twice. If that would have hit, it would have potentially been the round right there, as they could have at least stalled out the plant just a little bit longer. Not the case, however, and well, they have a VP able to pick up their fourth round right here. He got really close. A very good attempt right there from Hive to be able to potentially bring it back. Was a 1v1 situation. Decided to go for the stick, as you never know how far they descend on the stairs when they're playing around the red stairs, and you know, there is a vertical below. You saw it there. Medic tilted the head a little bit to get some better view on it. He could have gone from that side.
I was waiting for you to comment on that.
I'm sorry. I had to do it.
No, I know
waiting
that.
for medics to do it.
Hap believes he's discovered an observing trick.
All the observers I talked to didn't know it existed.
Hap believes...
See?
Medics has just confirmed in audio that this is actually something that Hap has discovered. I'll let you tell the tens and tens of thousands of viewers the Hap, the observing technique that you think has revolutionized observing in Siege.
Has revolutionized observing.
Yeah. You paint this story. This is your thing.
All right. So if you are spectating the player that is defusing, you are able to move their POV only for the observer. Of course, it's not like the player is suddenly going to be seeing something else. Don't worry. But like, I thought you can maybe use it to look at the angle where the player could be coming from, and you can also tilt it towards the vertical so you can see if there's pressure from there. So it adds another little dimension, you could say, or you just troll around with it like I did and just make circles and headbang. Yeah, I made them nod. Like, yes, we won the round. Let's go. You know, a little bit of headbang there.
So if you see someone defusing and we have the perspective and the camera's moving, that isn't the player. That is the Hap, the new observing technique.
That is the Hap.
I think you may see, or you might not. 2 minutes 30. We've already seen 30 seconds split past, and look at the pace that Virtus.pro are applying underneath. They are wasting no time in their approach here. From what was some early round caution has gone to this 6th round confidence. They're a team that builds and builds, and they really step up and step into the environment. They know that they can put themselves on a 5-1 here, heading into their defense on Villa. That is a very promising situation, even for a team that has struggled closing out some other maps. You have to give them kudos for their approach here.
Yeah, their attacks are really strong so far, and even though Villa might not be as defense-sided anymore as it used to be, it is still a very good half here for VP, setting up 4-1, potentially going 5-1. They are going to be the ones that are holding the momentum. As right now they're trying to take control of Astro. Astro is where it's at right here for VP. There's Banshees, there's 2 players, one on the stairs, one behind the shield. The utility needs to be used if they want to dislodge these players, and that is exactly what Rask is coming to do. He's going to be putting up that breaching charge to put some pressure. Double breaching charge, actually, taking care of the Banshee first, and later is going to be trying to take care of the player as well, as he first takes care of the shield. A lot of work being done by him here, even though he just misses it by a small margin. 1 minute 20 seconds left on that board. It is VP that are on the hunt, I would say, as Draven goes down first. Sleben tosses in a C4, but not going to hit anything, and Well, as the time is slowly ticking down, Hive, more pressure will be coming down upon him, as he does, of course, have those yokais available to him.
Keen eyes are attuned now, as obviously with those smokes going, as you said, it's going to make things a little bit trickier. Rask rotating around underneath. Sleben is going to be the first port of call here. They drop that Banshee, and well, he leans in to the aggression. He wants to put himself in a situation they don't expect, and they didn't. And there is a very important pick around the back stairs. But Karjaka takes that moment, tries to swing in. Hive is able to drop that diffuser carrier, drop that body. Sleben gets deeper. Milon picks up the pieces in the meantime. He's going to try and stick the plant, and the drone is in the right place. Does just catch it this time round. Success, and there it is. Secret. They find that moment and find the kills not long after. Well, a 4-2 split. The faces are focused because they know the hard work in a way has just begun.
Yeah, they're not happy. You don't see the amount of discharge there is after, for example, Rogue wins a round. Of course, that is due to Leon also being in that team, and he'll just shout at the camera whatever he can when they win a round.
Yeah.
But they also know it's not a good split. 4-2 is painful if you are the defenders. So there's a lot of work to be done for them. It's a mountain they have to climb if they want to get back in, and VP are aware of that. They are the ones that can lose this game, so to say, as they are in the driver's seat right now. It's up to them. They are the ones that need to win as well. And it's like they must be feeling confident after the amount of attacks they had. They were very well synchronized, I have to say. You can see that they have been practicing on those for a long while.
Okay, Virtus.pro, you're able to do bits on your attack there, and obviously we still saw Secret leaning back into the fights after the first three. They obviously had a team talk and said, we cannot let them be as comfortable as they are. We can't play that time and release and pull back and push at the site part because it hasn't been working for them, and they have realized that. So I'm curious to see what sort of applications they put on their attacks now, because they can be this very well formulated team. They can be a team that puts a good take and a good pressure amount together when they need to. It's just the confidence of Virtus.pro, I think, is pretty high right now.
VP definitely having a lot of confidence here. Is Secret looking to go quickly underneath the brown stairs, I believe, but there's a man waiting inside Piano, able to swing out into Art Studio. This could be a flank coming in right here as Milan pushing on him from the side, brings it back to a 3-on-3. A lot of kills are happening on either side as Sleben picks up one more as well. Very quick round right here. VP putting up the pressure, and they have the man advantage as well.
Oh, so no. Hive has left the game. Was that one of the kills, or was that...
That was one of the alive people, actually. It was a 3v2 for Secret, so that is going to be hurting Secret a bunch. Though they're still going to be able to take care of the shields. It is an effective 2v2 right now. No more having the opportunity to go for trades the entire time.
Such a horrible moment for that to happen, but it puts a huge amount of pressure now into the pockets of Sleben and Draven. Obviously, with all the bodies that have already been traded, this is going to boil down to who gets the drop on the gunfight, and it goes Milan's way first. He gets aggro on the door. The pings are consistent. Karjaka is concerned about underneath. You can see he's holding the angle as Sleben is the one that's rotated off. They thought they might be able to catch them if they went down the stairs, but he had already slipped on by. Gone for a big rotate played into the hands of the clock that it is offered now as he drops the proximity there and pre-fires around the door. There is the pop, and there is an Aruni that's getting aggro, but Draven finally drops them, caught them on the rotation, and Karjaka has gone out himself, found a way around the back stairs. Are they aware? It doesn't seem that they are in Secret. Well, it was a 3 versus 2-2, a 2 versus 2 out of unfortunate circumstances. They were able to lock it off at least, and it makes it a little bit less bitter.
Very good on them, and that is going to be helping your morale as well. If you're losing out a player in a tense situation like that, and you still manage to lock out the round, even though you just lost the advantage due to something completely out of your side, they did at least manage to take control of the round, and they bring it back by 1 round. That means they have the opportunity to, on the next one, bring it back to a 4-4. And if we just quickly highlight what was happening there, it was that 2v2. We had that one player rotating back through the vault, hoping to go to bar. Now, something we have been seeing in the AVG setups a lot is that the wall, the middle wall that is blocking the sides, has been opened up quite a bit. It allows the attackers, if they have steady control, to basically cut out the rotation. And we've seen many, many kills come down through that same angle from either side. So it is kind of strange to see why players keep on trying to rotate, even though they know there's pressure coming down from the angle where it's actually vulnerable from. But it did definitely help Secret in this round.
Well, obviously, if you're unsurprised, we've just got a little bit of a tech pause now as we try and get in. The unfortunate player who dropped by the background sounds will be back in, hopefully very, very soon. So, Secret, you've been able to find one. You put the difference back to just one. And from the openers at 3-0 going down and being able to take that team talk and pull yourself back together, it's a very different setup as to how this game could have gone on. I think the team talk of leaning into more aggression is definitely something that's a little bit more success for them.
All right, here we go. Back in. Quick little pause coming in just to get the player back in. And seems like we are underway again. It is going to be AVGs yet again. VP choosing to go for the same side. Now, you might wonder, why would they do that? And then you're like, okay, it was a bit of a push coming out from Secret. It was kind of a rush that VP managed to trade out quite well up until, of course, a drop came through on the likes of Secret. And then did they lose it because they peaked too aggressively, or did they lose it because they lost too many players to the rush? Like, one thing is for sure, you're probably, like 99% sure, not going to see a consecutive rush coming in from Secret. I really hope they don't rush now, otherwise I look like an idiot.
No, it's not often their pocket play and play it again. They're very much more akin to trying these plays. As we talked about on their defenses, the same thing to apply to their attacks is they change things up. When they read that they need to do something different, they are more than happy and more than able to. As he said, it's the conversation towards what gives you more strength, solidity in a play or flexibility. And here, Secret are trying to make the case for the latter as they instantly go for a very different pick, different push. And now it's seeing if they can find the same level of success. It came down to the wire in and amongst, obviously, a dropped player. But here, well, it's a lot of land they're able to take control of.
I'm going to be gifted the northern side of the house. And right there, Classical Hall is going to be the boundary, the border. As soon as they cross there, they will be receiving some fire. Actually, good shield seeing there. Allows them to look into landing. Potentially going for a aggressive peek right here. Really like what Rask has done with the plays, you would say. There's also a Surya gate protecting it together with 2 ADS, so it's going to be a real pain to actually deal with that shield. A better way would potentially be to actually go from the study side. However, you see Secret currently have literally no resources invested towards the study side.
Well, now then, as they start their steady approach here from 90, and they're looking and swinging towards the danger that can be applied, it's a lot of time. And I think that's one of the differences we have between them and Virtus.pro. Is Virtus.pro, they kind of set themselves up for very last-second pushes. And I'm saying that they were putting that pressure. They're actually going for the rotate now and pulling themselves back towards a slightly different location. So maybe they will find themselves in the same throes of danger. But Pasha, well, he's making sure he's right up in there inside the danger. Goes for the fight against Prano on the red stairs. Comes off better for it. But it's Rask that's trying to offer some, I guess, retribution from the opposite side. Pasha, the Echo, finds the opener there on the Ash. That last second, very important potential player is taken care of. But there's Milan dropped by Hype on the opposite side. The canister pops. Finally, the first is found, and a little bit of silence here as Virtus.pro have done a lot to put this pressure on.
And the pressure's not dying down yet. It's just a little bit of a breather right now coming in. As Pasha picks up yet another kill. They have it. A jump in will come, but gets punished instantly. It's only up to Gomfi and Slabber now, both near landing. Need to take out so many players. Still 3 ADS is still a Surya laser gate right there, and they'll just have to go for the push and try and go for the kills, but the opportunity of that happening are very slim. But the amount of players that are still behind the shield gets taken out first, but Gomfi straight falls right after, and Slabber, the last man standing right now, will be held back by the smoke canisters that are coming in, and with 5 seconds on that clock, it is going to be a bit of a breather. Trying to talk about what went wrong there for the attack of Secret, knowing with the amount of rounds and the amount of buffer space they have left before they are running out of rounds for the full 3 points.
Wow, Secret, I said it started with a bit of pace, but unfortunately it tapered out towards the end. Virtus.pro, they wanted to meet you at that red doorway, and you couldn't really find a viable way through there. Obviously, when the Echo is swing peaking, regardless of who is controlling them, is the entry attempt is there, you're thinking that they're wanting an aggressive
Yeah.
performance.
I was going to say, it's very strange to see the Echo just taking the gunfights, even though you have like a Jaeger sitting behind a shield, super safe, you know, he's ready to take the gunfight whenever. And then Echo's like, but I can also do that. And and he just swings everything until he manages to get the kills right there. It's strange to see. It worked out this time around, but for the same, you know, you could have also lost him on the first ever gunfight, not being able to use the yokais to deny the plant and lose the round on the back of that. So you got to be careful when you're playing an operator like Smoke or Echo to not choose the unnecessary gunfights, you would say.
Okay, Virtus.pro, things are going your way, but as we said before, sometimes it's the end of the game that is the biggest danger as it looms heavily over however the rest of the game has gone. Just 2 more to lock it out and try and find yourself at that full fat 3 that is required for you to get into the top 4. It's one of those must setups. It's not the only one, that's the big problem, but it's the only one that you have your hands on in control of. And so far, everything else has started to fall your favor. Just 2 more rounds. Is also what separates Secret from you. They're not too far behind, and you know that they're thirsting for the fights to catch up.
They are definitely. Need to get the full 6 points themselves. Penalty already fulfilled one of the checkboxes needed for VP to make it by not being able to score more than 3 points anymore. Toughest one still on the table though. G2 and Rogue both not allowed to score more than 2 points in these 2 play days. Otherwise, the dream's over for VP due to, of course, the head-to-heads that aren't going their way. And yet again, a crash coming out from Secret is Hive this time. That is not going to be able to see the end of the round. And that is going to be bringing them in quite of a dangerous position right here, knowing that they are about to go up against the match point right here. Slavin gets down first. It is going to be the pressure play that they try to pull off, but 5v2 is where they find themselves after they aggressed after losing one of their members.
So unfortunate to suffer it yet again, twice in the same game, and here on a round that's so important, the penultimate possibility of keeping themselves off of map point. You realize that also they're fighting for the full 3 points, and if we go 1 round further into Virtus.pro's favor, well, that dream of the full 3 is gone. It's guaranteed OT at that moment in time. Reinforcements still in pocket as Pasha sets themselves up with some cover on the windows. They can dig themselves in on walk-in with some safety of not being swung fired by that bathroom window, but it's actually Draven digging in underneath. Gets caught with the diffuser too. Kozheka gets a very important pick, and Prano, well, I was going to say alone and isolated, but not for very long. Virtus.pro, they put themselves on map point.
Put themselves on 6 rounds indeed. 1 more round away from locking in the full 3 points. That is part of what they need. The 6 ones that they need to make top 4. So they're doing what they need to do. And the pause is being requested here as, of course, another drop came through. And surely that will be given. And Dining, you saw it quickly, is potentially going to be the next site that we will be seeing played. I also saw an Oryx on the board that was being hovered over. So we might get a little bit of an interesting play to see right here, where we see a hyper-aggressive roamer just jumping up and down the floors as he sees fit.
Well, I believe that there's some discussion going on. I guess we'll find out the result of everything.
We'll find out.
Played through. Obviously, we get half the conversation. It's not in our jurisdiction. We just talked about it, and the response was no pause. No pause allowed because of the previously taken rehost before.
Rules do state 1 rehost per team per map, and the pause does count as a rehost. So unfortunate there for Secret. On a very unfortunate point as well, 6-3. Luckily for Secret, they're not fighting for a top 4 position, but it will still hurt nonetheless as Hive now rejoins. VP, they have the opportunity to lock it off. Look at Pasha there, 12-on-4, really stepping up for VP. And Milan following shortly with the 8 kills himself. On the other side, we have Slabber really showing up huge here today. 11 kills on the man. Really having a big impact, but the question is Secret going to be able to do anything with it? Are they going to be able to bring this to a 6-6 and push it towards overtime? Make sure they're going to get that 1 point at least secured on the board and have the opportunity to fight for 2, because that's all that's on the board for them now.
Well, they're playing obviously without a 5th, and I think Hive was usually their sledge roll, so it puts them in the situation of no grenades, none of that range possibility of damage and destruction. Gomfi is going for this opening engagement, a very important one. It either evens the scores or it puts you in a very unfortunate situation. So they're going all in with the drones, with the play. 3 of them are making sure they have some possibility here, but it's the catch on the man that isn't behind them. Kajeka opens it up, drops Pirano. There is Draven getting some response. There's a double as well, puts them back 3 bodies apiece. Finally even in terms of how this round is playing out, but with 2 minutes still on the board and 3 players still to get through, there's still a lot left for them to do. 2 C4s are in pocket too. They're making sure that they still have that stretch utility as they pull themselves all the way back towards the site itself.
So still a mute gemmer available in the hands of Kajeka. Oh, that's a good kill coming down there. Comfy shutting down Pasha brings it into a 3v2 situation, and now the scans are coming out. They know exactly where Rask is for the next, well, let's say 20-30 seconds, because those pings are going to be feeding into them, so they know they don't have to worry about that angle. But Kajeka right here is going to be the problem. Kajeka is in a very good spot, and if he manages to get these kills down, he can lock it off of VP, but he's missing the first couple of shots, and well, they have it. Rask is coming in, taking down one. Kajeka trying to go for the second, but yet again missing the shots right there. Comfy will go down. It's only up to Slebin now with about 1 minute and 15 seconds left.
Slebin, you're pre-firing the right angles, and so far Kajeka has struggled a little bit with this pressure moment, but Rask is cool as ever. And you're trying to find a singular point of ingress. Pops it round and deep to stun the man as you swing round to Memorial on the opposite side. The C4 is ripped, torn, and missed. There it is, Virtus.pro. They take the full 3 points. It was an important game for them. Unfortunately, Secret couldn't quite have the showing they wanted to and needed. But to be fair, today Virtus.pro have put their pace down and made sure it's known that they are a team still fighting for that top 4 position.
Yeah, they are still in contention right here. And the next game we will be seeing is going to be all deciding whether or not they have the opportunity to still go for it. VP, on the other hand, were absolutely in the driver's seat here today. They showed great adaptation to whatever Secret was bringing. Secret tried to change the defensive